What's up? What's up? It's a wrap. Yudi here. Welcome back. And today we are talking about anticipated reads for 2023. Long and overdue. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have my notes. I have 15 different books, all by Black authors, that I am excited for to come out this year. Some of them I've actually already have, and I haven't read it yet. And actually, there was one that it's probably up. It probably went up Saturday, and this is going up on Sunday. So, Sun Keep Rising, that has already came out. Yeah, it just came out, and this video should already be up. So that's one of the reads I was anticipating this year. That's not on this list, which is fine because I'd rather have like an even 15 and then have an odd 16. So I'll have that video linked in the description. Actually, I'm lying. I'm gonna put a note card up. I'm gonna have a note card up here. For you guys to check out that review. But that book just came out on, I believe, the 24th of January, and I'm recording this before that. So just before. So yeah. So check out that review and check out that book if you haven't. But these again are 15 books that I'm anticipating for this year. The only common denominators are they're all by Black authors. I don't know if I have a good mix of genres, but it's, we'll see once I give you the list. So let me, again, not wasting more time. Here goes the first one. I have Mame by Jessica George. And this one is a coming of age novel. And it's based in the UK, and it follows a British Ghanaian woman. I believe her father is not well, and her parents give her the permission to finally go and live her life. So this is pretty much just her navigating life, and stepping out of the sheltered shell that she's been in, like dating, and all that other kind of stuff. So this one is literally about to come out. So, and I've been seeing a lot of reviews on Instagram and TikTok from different book reviewers saying that they really enjoyed it. So I'm actually very excited to read this and to get my hands on that. The next one I have is The Black Queen by Jumata Emil. And this one is a YA mystery thriller. And this is also one that's coming out on the 31st of January. So this is about to be on the shelves if you guys are interested in that. This one is about a girl named Nworah, and she becomes the first Black homecoming queen at her high school. But there's a girl named Tinsley, and her family has this long history of, I think the past 3, 4, 5 generations of her family have been crowned prom queens. So she feels very slighted by the fact that Nworah has won prom queen and broke her family's legacy of being crowned prom queen. So yeah. So Tinsley's just pretty much racist. That's it. And in that, Nworah ends up dying. They find her dead. And then her best friend, Duchess, she ends up trying to figure out who killed her friend. I actually have seen reviews for this one as well. And I've been getting mixed reviews about this particular book. Still excited to read it and see whether or not I like it. But yeah, that's another one that I'm really interested in. If you are too, you can check that out. The next one that I have on my list is The Daughter in Exile. And this one comes out in January as well. A lot of books come out on the 31st of January. But this particular book, The Daughter in Exile, is Bisi, Adjapon. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Let me not try again. But this one is an African lit, and it's based, I believe, in Nigeria. So this one is about a Ghanaian woman who lives in Senegal, I believe, and she is, having a good, comfortable life in Senegal, but then she meets this Marine named, I think it's Armand. So she meets this Marine and she moves with him to the U.S., but she's not documented, so she's living in the U.S. undocumented, and this is pretty much just her story of navigating the U.S. as an undocumented immigrant during the 90s. I'm really interested in this one, so this might be one that I try to pick up. The next one I have on my list comes out in February, and it is A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. I did a review of her debut novel, Stay With Me, and I'll link that in the description and probably use a card for it at the end of this video. And I like Stay With Me, and I don't know if it was like my absolute favorite is going to make it to like my end of year favorites, but I did enjoy that read, so I am excited to read her sophomore novel. It follows two families in Nigeria during political turmoil. It says, I'm just reading a line from the summary. Two families caught in the riptides of wealth, power, romantic obsession, and political corruption. All things that I love in a book and in a movie, just period, just in a good story, like all things that I'm interested in reading. So yeah. This one comes out, did I already say it comes out in February? Okay, the next book I have is actually, this is one that I'm really excited for. Black Candle Woman by Diane Marie Brown. This comes out in February, and this one follows a family of like witches, and pretty much I think there's like this decade-old curse that whoever they fall in love with dies. So Nikki, who's like the youngest of the family, she ends up falling for this guy, even though whoever you fall in love with dies. So yeah, so that's pretty much the story. It sounds really interesting. The cover is beautiful. I'm very excited to get a hold of this book whenever I do, when I can. The next book I have comes out, we're jumping to April. This one is Rootless by Krystle, Zara, Appiah. It comes out in April. It's another African lit story, and it is based, I believe, in the UK, and it's about this couple who fall in love. They live in the UK. Everything seems to be going good and great. But then there's this unplanned pregnancy, and it puts like turmoil into their relationship. Yeah. When Effie and Sam are faced with an unplanned pregnancy, they find themselves on the opposing sides. Fatherhood is everything he has dreamed of, but Effie feels stuck in a nightmare. And when a new revelation emerges, they are forced to confront just how radically different they want their lives to be. The next book I have is The Making of Yolanda la Bruja, and this is by Lorraine, Avila. This comes out in April. I do have a copy of this, and you will see this reviewed on my channel. I'm actually really excited to read this one as well. This is a young adult novel. It's also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it dabbles a little into the magical realism, and it's Latin. But this one follows a girl where she starts getting into like brujeria, I believe. But there's this boy that comes into the school who is like involved in politics, I believe, or his family is involved in politics. And something like with the boy like threatens the community. So yeah, so she's trying to protect her community, and follows her roots in order to navigate the conflict. The next book I have on my list is Go Back and Get It by Diane Ford. And this is the only nonfiction book I have on my list. It's a memoir. It comes out in April. It is about, did I say Diane? Dionne Ford. Go back and get it by Dionne Ford. And it's a memoir, and it follows a woman as who's trying to like heal herself and kind of learn herself in order to like get past a rough patch in her life. But then she realizes in order to do that, she needs to like confront her past. And in confronting her past, she goes through the generation and the generational traumas of her ancestors, of, you know, from her great grandmother and so and back. So that's pretty much what the memoir is about. It sounds super interesting. It comes out again in April. You might see me reviewing on my channel. I have When the Vibe is Right. And this is a YA young adult romance novel, and is based in Trinidad. And this one follows a girl who has to team up with a guy that she doesn't like in order to like see through an event during Carnival. So yeah, this one comes out in May. I'm very excited for this one. And you might see it on my channel. I'm just gonna say you might see it on my channel because some of these, I literally, as I was doing this, I was like, let me see if I can get an advanced copy of it. So we'll see. If not, I'm buying it anyway. They get my coin. Number 10, I have Small World by Caleb Azumah Nelson. I reviewed his debut novel, Open Water, on my channel, and I loved that book. And Open Water was definitely one of those books that I just want to keep on my shelf, and definitely speaks to me. So yeah. So I am very excited for Small Worlds and to see how he addresses his sophomore novel. And if I didn't say it, it comes out in May. Okay, the next book I have is The Three of Us by Agbaje-Willams. Agbaje-Willams, and it comes out in May. I do have a copy of this book. There will be a review of this book on my channel. And this one is about, okay, so there's a woman and she has a best friend and the husband, and they don't get along, but something happens that like puts all three of them into a tricky situation. So that's pretty much it. That's all I'm gonna say. The next book I have is Housewoman by Adorah. Nworah. Please tell me if I'm right. It comes out in June. It's African lit mystery thriller. And I've only mentioned one other mystery thriller, but this one is about a woman who, I believe she's a dancer, and she goes and meets her new husband who lives in Houston, that like promises her all these things, but she learns, like, when she gets there, like, she's supposed to be, you know, give him his kids and like cook and, you know, just be the epitome of a wife. But she's not an ordinary wife. We don't know why she's not an ordinary wife. Yeah, so something happens and baby, there's violence and desperation. So I want to know what it is. Sorry, y'all, I'm holding my lip gloss. And yeah. Okay, moving on. This one I'm also really excited for. Let me just say it. It's Nightbloom by Peace, Adzo, Medie. And if you see my very first video on my channel, it was me talking about the books that I read in 2022. And I read His Only Wife, and that was one of my favorites. I ate that book up. I thought it was so good. So I'm very excited to read Nightbloom. It's about two best friends who go estranged. You know, one ends up, I believe, in the US, and just life happens, and something happens in their life that reconnects them. And that's pretty much the story. But His Only Wife was such, like, it started off really slow, but once it got going, baby, it was going. And you really get sucked up into the world. Like, I know in fantasy they say world building, but I love a book when you're just really, like, you can just see it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just really captivated, and it's almost like you're being transported to another place. Like, that's how great the storytelling and the writing is. So yeah, I loved His Only Wife, and I'm very excited for Nightbloom. That's all I'm going to say. I'm 100% reading this book. Okay, the next one I have is One Summer in Savannah by Terah, Shelton, Harris. It comes out in July. This one is about a woman who was terribly assaulted, and she ends up leaving her town, and she has not been back. But then, you know, some things happen, and she ends up going back to her town with her daughter, and she's hoping that she doesn't see the family of the man who had assaulted her. But the man that assaulted her has a brother, and his brother actually ends up coming back to town the same time that she comes back to town, and he's trying to like piece together his family after it's fallen apart, after this tragedy has happened to the family. So yeah, that's that story. And yeah, I'm just really interested. It seems like it's going to be a good read, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, and then my last one, if I could, and let me actually just give you this one now. I'll tell you my top 3 that I'm most anticipating for in 2023. So this one is Elizabeth Acevedo and It's Family Lore. So if you know Elizabeth Acevedo and her writing, she has only written young adult novels. I've read Clap When You Land and When the Fire is on High. Both, love them both. Love them both. And I'm very excited to read this particular novel, Family Lore, because it is her first adult novel. So I'm very excited to see how like she translates as a writer when speaking to, or when, you know, writing in a different age range. I would read the description, but it's like 4 paragraphs, girl. I don't be doing the long synopsises like that. But yes, I think that's pretty much it. I know it goes between like Santiago. A lot of her books, well, at least Clap When You Land, it went between New York specifically and the Dominican Republic, and I believe this is no different. Yeah, and I believe this deals with some magical realism. So that's all the books I have. Out of all of them, the ones I'm most excited for is Family Lore, Nightbloom by Adjapon, by Adzo Medie, and then my third one I'm most excited for is Black Candle Woman. So those are my top 3. Let me know which ones you are excited for. Let me know if there's some releases that I didn't mention that you're excited to read this year. And yeah, let me know which ones you're really excited to see me review on my channel. 2 are definitely, I already mentioned it, but 2 are definitely going to be on my channel because I already have them. Actually, one of them is going to be up really soon. So that is The Making of Yolanda La Bruja and The Three of Us. So yeah, so 2 of them already have, and we'll see if I can get a hold of some other ones so I can get those on the channel for you and let you know what I think. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. Hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you enjoyed your weekend, and yeah, we'll talk to each other in another video. Deuces.